So today I wanted to quickly go over what I actually used in my hospital bag. I gave birth in November of 2020 and during the pandemic and everything, and yeah, I watched a lot of these videos trying to figure out what I should pack in my bag, and I did find out that it is really different for everybody. Like, some people use some stuff, some people didn't use other things and found some stuff more important and whatever. But I found these videos very helpful when it came to compiling a list of things that I wanted to pack. So I am going to dive right into that. Okay, so I'm gonna put a list over here of everything that I did pack, and once I go over everything, I will provide a list of everything that I actually used, that I think you should pack, or things that I wish I would have packed. Okay, let's get into this. I'm gonna go over the stuff that I did not use, because you can just cross it off your list if you decide that that isn't something that you want to bring, and you can see the other stuff on the list that I do not mention is the stuff that I did use. So I'm also going to go over the stuff that I wish I would have brought as well. So I brought a birth plan, or as my doula called it, a birth vision, and I will say that it was used, but it also kind of wasn't. I think it is important to have a birth plan, a birth vision, but at the end of the day, or the end of like the 50 hours I was in labor, I kind of was just like, I don't care about the birth plan, just get her out of me. But yeah, that was just me. I did not really use my birth plan. It kind of sat by the door, and I just ended up yelling at everybody and telling them to stop looking at it and to just get her out of me. But that was just me. I brought my nursing pillow. I didn't use my nursing pillow. I used like the pillows that were around, and I ended up not being able to breastfeed. That's a whole nother story. And so yeah, I didn't really use my nursing pillow. I don't think you have to bring it unless you want to, because you want to figure out right away how to use the nursing pillow, so when you get home you can still use it, you can know how to use it. So I did bring like a bunch of pads and like all my stuff, my postpartum care stuff, and I will say the hospital really does give you everything that you need for your postpartum care, at least while you're at the hospital. And I was able to like stash some stuff, and I asked my nurse, who was amazing, and she gave me a bunch of like the ice pad things, which, let me tell you right now, are amazing. That was like my number one postpartum thing. They gotta have these ice pads. I bought some from Frida. My hospital provided me some, and I don't know, I would definitely get them, because when I came home, I ended up using all my ones that I had at home, and the ones at the hospital I used until they were all gone. Anyway, back to the video. I did use the Frida foam. It's like the witch hazel foam. I prefer, like, they didn't even give me that, but I use that. And then the witch hazel pads that Frida has, I like how they're like the shape of like a pad instead of the circle tux pads, I think they're called, that the hospital gave me. And they just, I don't know, I just prefer the Frida ones. So I would say if you want to bring certain stuff, cool, but you don't need it. You can also just keep it at home. That way you can just come home and use it. I actually packed compression leggings, and because I'm like, oh, after I have her, I'm gonna want to like have everything sucked back in. There was just like no way I was gonna put on compression leggings when I was all sore in my lady bits, like there was no, I didn't want everything like tight. So I wore more of just like loose leggings, so I felt supported, but it wasn't tight, and I preferred like sweatpants and stuff, honestly. And yeah, as I put on my list, I used one of those compression belly wraps, and I just found like that was enough for the supporting of my abdomen without hurting anything else. I didn't actually like wear a going home outfit. Like, there wasn't anything specific that I wore that was a going home outfit. I don't know, like, I guess I was only going home to, like, we were going home to our dog, like, because of the pandemic, there wasn't gonna be a bunch of people waiting for us or anything like that. I just threw on whatever clothes I had there, and we left the hospital. It also was snowing and cold, and when we went to the hospital, it was like 60 degrees that day, so I did not bring a jacket. That's something I wish I would have brought, was a jacket, because it was freezing when I left. But yeah, I mean, just make sure you pack for whatever weather it's gonna be. I I just did not grab a jacket that day because it wasn't cold when I went to the hospital. So my socks, my non-slip socks, I did use them, but the hospital also provided them to me, so it was kind of just like pointless. Like the hospital had non-slip socks that I ended up wearing after my non-slip socks were dirty or whatever, so that wasn't really something I needed to bring. But if you prefer your own fluffy comfy socks, I get it. I packed compression socks, and I did not use my compression socks. I actually used the hospital's compression socks as well. They also had them, and yeah, they're like, no, don't use yours, just, use ours. So that also happened. I packed my medication and like whatever medication I'm on, and I actually did not use that while I was at the hospital. They provided me my medication. They did not want me taking anything that they did not have record of, like of exactly what time I got it and when, so they just provided me my medication as well. I don't know if that's every hospital's policy, but I would assume so. I would definitely ask. So makeup, I actually forgot my makeup. I did a little bit of my makeup before I went to the hospital, and then I just didn't bring it because I just didn't care in that moment, and I wouldn't have used it at the hospital anyway. Everybody's labor and delivery is different, so I'm really speaking from my experience, and my experience was a little hectic, and so I just did not care about makeup. That was the last thing I cared about. So I packed a lot of disposable Frida underwear, and I actually really enjoyed them, so that's definitely something I would say, to potentially get. But the hospital also provided pretty decent disposable underwear, and I wore them a lot in hopes of not using up my Frida underwear so that I could use that when I got home. So yeah, it wasn't something that I had to bring, but I did use it, so I guess that could stay on the list, but you don't need it. So I brought my water bottle with a straw. It's actually my Yeti that's right here, and I did not use that because the hospital provided me a bottle with a straw, and my Yeti just stayed in the corner. Now, again, this is just my experience. You need a bottle with a straw, so I don't know if I would take that off the list, but I will say that I did not use it. If I'm just being honest here, with the stuff that I did use and didn't use, that's what I didn't use. So next I wanted to talk about my husband's stuff, and everything that we packed on his list is right here. And actually everything that we packed for him he did use, and he actually did not pack enough, because there are things that I told him to pack that he did not pack. So he was like, oh, I'm not gonna need that. He figured we were gonna be in the hospital for like a day, and we were there from Friday to a Friday to a Tuesday. So, he did not bring enough stuff. For the baby, we did not use basically anything that we brought for the baby. I did not use any of the clothes really. At one point I put her in clothes. I think it was really only when we left the hospital. She was born at 6 pounds even. She did not fit in any of the newborn stuff, did not fit in any of the 0 to 3 months. I just I didn't put her in any clothes. She was just either naked wrapped in a swaddle, or the hospital put like this little shirt on her, and they didn't provide pants, but they put like this little white shirt on her, and I did not like the idea of putting onesies over her head. As I mentioned in my video about the top 5 must-haves, I did not like putting stuff over my newborn's head because she freaks out. I still don't like putting stuff. She's 6 weeks now, and I still don't like putting stuff over her head. She freaks out. It scared me. It was, they just feel so fragile and small. So I did not like doing that. So if you were to pack anything, I would pack stuff that is either like the sleeper type that zips up, or the kimono style stuff. Again, I mentioned that in my 5 must-have videos. So I would pack that kind of stuff, but I just did not like pulling stuff over my newborn's head. I did not use any of the clothes until we went home because she needed clothes on to sit in her car seat. She wasn't gonna have no pants on. We did not use nail clippers. Nail clippers were on a lot of lists to pack, and I don't really understand why, because baby's nails they're just not able to be clipped. It's just not like, they're so brittle and fragile and tiny, I mean, if anything, maybe like a little tiny file, but I wouldn't even touch their nails, to be honest, so I would not pack nail clippers. We also packed some blankets. I packed like a fluffy blanket for her, a smaller blanket, some swaddle blankets. No, I didn't use any of that. I used what the hospital put her in, the normal white and striped, like, yeah, the white striped blankets, the typical ones. That's what I left her in, and that's what we used even when we got home, because we were just so used to swaddling her in that. That was what was easiest for us, and she actually hated swaddling, so we stopped swaddling her. Diapers, they provided us with so many diapers. They sent us home with diapers. Don't bring diapers, because like if you want to bring them because you don't, like, you have a specific type of diaper that you want your baby to use, I get it, but it's just kind of a waste of money, because you're already paying your hospital bill or your insurances or whatever, and the diapers are a part of that, so just use their diapers. Again, hats, socks, all that stuff, didn't use it. Did not use that for the baby. Did not use any like bows. No, didn't use it. Just use the hospital hat. That was it. So what I suggest is, if you want to take any type of certain like pictures or whatever that you're planning on at the hospital, yeah, then pack swaddles that you want to take pictures in, or clothing that you really want to take pictures in. But when it comes to like the baby just lying around at the hospital and just hanging out, I personally don't think that you need all these little fancy clothes, because it's just not realistic in my opinion. So I would just keep that to a minimum. Just, it's just pointless. I just packed way too much baby stuff. So now I want to go over what we wish that we would have brought. We wish that we would have brought our own towels. The hospital's towels were really small, and yeah, they were really small, and they didn't give us that many, and yeah, so bring your own towels. Next is our own pillows. I didn't really mind, but my husband wishes that he would have had his own pillow, because they provided him with a place to sleep. Like, he actually had this pull-out bed, which was really nice, but they really didn't have, like, they put like a sheet on it just because, but they weren't really going to give him anything. So he did bring a blanket, but he did not bring his own pillow. So make sure you bring a blanket, make sure you bring a pillow for your significant other, and if you prefer to have some type of blanket or pillow from home, I would do that as well. I did not bring anything for myself, blanket-wise or pillow-wise. I do kind of wish I would have brought a blanket, just because at one point I was just freezing because I had a fever, and the blankets that they were providing me with were not cutting it. So my husband ended up giving me his big fluffy blanket, and that helped me. So hair ties, I actually have that on my list, and I forgot them, and yeah, that was awful, because I have really curly hair, and I actually don't remember what my hair looked like when I left for the hospital, but I do know that I got my hair wet while I was at the hospital. I showered, and my hair is just really curly, so it was just like this big fluff ball. I didn't bring any hair products. I didn't bring any shampoo and conditioner. I don't know why I didn't bring that stuff. I don't know. I didn't think that I'd be washing my hair, and I thought that I would just put my hair up and it wouldn't really matter. But I forgot hair ties. I did not go to the hospital with a hair tie. I could not find a hair tie anywhere, and I had no hair products. So when I left the hospital, I looked insane. Like, my hair was just like, it was just everywhere. But yeah, so shampoo, conditioner, hair ties, hair products. If you want to be able to wash your hair, like, it's nice to have that there. I wish that I would have brought more clothes for myself that were just comfortable, an extra couple pairs of sweatpants, and yeah, I just brought too many of those compression type leggings and stuff that I thought I was gonna wear, like tight stuff, and it just wasn't realistic. And I'm like, oh, I want to kind of look cute and just feel good, and yeah, it just doesn't. I didn't really feel good no matter what I did afterwards, to be completely honest. I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, I wish I would have brought more comfy clothes, and my husband wishes that he would have brought more boxers and more clothes, because he thought we were going to be there for a day, and I didn't think we were going to be there that long. And again, we were there from a Friday to a Tuesday, so it's better to be prepared, at least to bring extra underwear. Next, my husband wishes that he would have brought like a Nintendo or a laptop, and I know this might be controversial, because guys, listen, you do not want to be on your phone, on playing video games or any of that stuff when your wife is in labor, or just, whoever whoever the laboring partner is, whoever you are, male, female, whatever, you don't want to be on video games when she's in labor and giving birth, because it's very, very, whatever. You get it, I'm sure you know. But I was in labor. I got to the hospital, like I said a million times, on a Friday, and I didn't give birth until Tuesday. That involved a lot of me sleeping, a lot of me sitting around, because I had an epidural. It was just, my husband was just kind of sitting around, so he would have benefited from having something that he could have used to occupy himself. And yeah, so I suggest maybe bringing it, but being very, 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 very smart to only use it if you're the woman who is in labor and giving birth does not need you exactly at her bedside at that moment. So lastly, I have a donut pillow. I was really, really struggling to sit at the hospital. I just kind of like kept putting like a pillow under me just to be able to sit down. I did tear, and yeah, my birth story, if you want to know it, I can make a video about that. My labor and delivery and birth story. I don't really remember enough of it for some reason. I just don't remember it, and it was only 6 weeks ago. But yeah, so I just struggled to sit down, and the one nurse said that she thought that they had donut pillows, and she went and looked for one and they didn't have any. So your hospital might, mine did not. And so I actually ordered one on Amazon while I was at the hospital, and it was there when I got home, and it was amazing. So I definitely suggest bringing a donut pillow, or no, just bring one, because you never know. And if you do, tear down there and stuff, whatever, you're gonna want to be able to have a donut pillow. So that's really that. So now I'm going to put the list of what I altogether compiled of what I personally would have packed if I could go back and change things, and that list is going to be right here. So screenshot if you want it. Okay, and then next I'm going to put my husband's as well right here. And lastly, the baby stuff, which is going to be pretty short because, yeah, just wasn't really necessary. So I also want to add in a clip of the bag that is sitting next to me in this video, because I actually do not mention it, even though it's sitting right next to me and I intended to. So yeah, I'm inserting this clip now. I got this from Fawn Design, and I just wanted to get a bag that I knew I would use again, and that was like really nice and chic. And yeah, so I picked up this bag, or I should say I ordered it online, because all the bags that I had were either too little or too big. And so yeah, this is actually my husband's bag that's in here as well, that I did purchase. This one is from Calpac, so this is his bag, and it's just like, shoved in here with my bag. And there's just like nice little pockets and stuff and whatnot. And with his, has like some nice pockets as well. So yeah, I just really like this bag, and so I purchased it for the hospital bag so that I can use it whenever for other stuff too. Cool. So that is basically everything I did not use and, wish I would have brought, or, did use, whatever. Just wanted to make this video pretty short and simple. So yeah, I hope this helped you a little bit to kind of decide on whether or not you want to add certain things to your list, or to just give you an idea of what your list would even start out, looking like. So thank you for watching, and I hope you come back and watch some more videos, because yeah, this is what this mama is doing while quarantined in the wintertime. Yeah.